Hi, this is Suresh Palagam from Customer First Team. In this video, we are going to see how to migrate ODS project from C4DL 6.6 to Qlik Compose 2021.8. And in the demo, we are specifically see Databricks project migration, and we are going to migrate project definition and data also in this scenario. Here is the document which will explain migration process of Databricks project from C4DL to Gen 2. And in C4DL 6.6, Databricks project only have option to create ODS project, but in Gen 2 we have an option to create HDS project also. This is the best time if you want to change your projects to HDS, ODS and HDS, then you can change it now. You can reach out to support if you have any questions on that process. And there are two paths to migrate your ODS project, and we already discussed the first one in the previous video. In this session, we can see that the other method to migrate the project definition and data also. The same process can be applicable for Hive ODS to Hive ODS project migration. Once you install the Qlik Compose with all required drivers, you can go to C4DL 6.6 and start creating deployment packages and run CDC task last time on C4DL and disable the schedule task until we finish the migration. And now we have to go to Qlik Compose and create an empty project with the same name as C4DL 6.6. And the storage database name must be different one because we are going to migrate the data also. So we are going to select the data from C4DL storage database and insert it into Qlik Compose storage database. We have to repeat the same process for each project on C4DL 6.6. So now we have an deployment package generated from C4DL 6.6 and an empty project created on Qlik Compose with the proper storage connection. So now we can start deploying the project on Qlik Compose. So deployment process, two steps. One is migrating the project definition and migrating the actual data from C4DL storage to Qlik Compose storage. Okay, let's see the actual demo. And here is the replicate, and I have two tables in the task, and we have some CDC changes also in the CT table. So yeah, let's go to C4DL 6.6 and see. Okay, this is the ODS project. As we discussed, like Databricks have only ODS option in C4DL. So yeah, this is the ODS project. And now yeah, let's go to the tasks. So finally, we have to verify, are there any schedules enabled here? So if there are any, please disable it and then run your CDC task manually. This is the last time you are running in the C4DL 6.6 before migration. So please make sure just keep logging in verbose so that at least if you have any troubles, we can able to review after your migration. And yeah, it's loading. In my case, we will not see any changes because I didn't send any changes after that. So both tables will be skipped. So if you have any data exist in CT tables, then you can see the status as done. Yeah. We connected to Qlik Compose now, and we can create a new project here, similar to Databricks ODS project. Select Data Lake ODS. It must be ODS at this time. Microsoft Azure and Data Lake and Databricks. Finish. Okay, So empty project is ready, and now we have to create valid storage zone connection here, and we can just copy the details from the old project existing C4DL 6.6 to here. We can copy everything but not the database name. So database name must be different, and so we should create a new database and it should be empty for Gen 2 solution. Once we provide all the required information here, do the test connection, and once it finished successfully, we can connect to Databricks notebook and see the data on landing zone and storage databases. In Yeah, let me show the databases. Okay, here there are two databases, one for old C4DL project and one for Gen 2. So currently Gen 2 is empty database, but yeah, let's connect to the landing zone first and see the tables. Yeah, so yeah, let's verify the shippers underscore CT data. So if you see here, there are a couple of records already updated, deleted, inserted. Since this is an ODS project in the C4DL 6.6 database, we can able to see the ODS view of this data. So let's connect to C4DL 6.6 database, storage database, and let's run the storage table. Okay, if you see the data on the storage layer, you can see 5 rows, but one row marked as deleted because currently my source table have only 4 records. We can see here there are no tables exist in Gen 2 storage database. Now we can go back to C4DL 6.6 and create a deployment package. Projects, okay. Deployment, then create deployment package. Then hit OK. Okay, now this is the source for our first compose CLI command. So let's copy this deployment package to different folder. Okay, so this is the input package for next two CLI commands. So one for project definition and second one for data migration. Okay, let's prepare the first CLI command. So we have to take the project name from Qlik Compose and give it for the project name, and the input file must be the deployment package we generated from C4DL 6.6. So this is the one we have to provide here, including the path. Okay, now the first command is ready. We can copy this one and connect to Compose CLI and then run this command. Okay, now it generated the package. We can go back and verify in the Qlik Compose project folder. And we have to use the same package here and deploy it on Qlik Compose. Okay, yes, okay. Now it is going to deploy, and let's make sure that connections are working fine. So yeah, if you see here, it's showing it's pointing out to the Gen 2 database. Click test connection and verify the landing zone connection, and then hit test connection. Okay, and validate the model, and then we have to create the storage zone, but before that, let's run the schema evaluation. So if you are using schema evaluation, so make sure that you run one time, and if there are any changes here, just skip those changes for the first time. Okay, you can see there are no tables right now. You can create now. So it is going to create storage tables, but which will be empty. There will not be any data now. So now we have to generate a migration script and then to run that on notebook. Okay, let's wait to this finish and let's go back to Databricks notebook and verify the tables on the Gen2 storage database. Okay, let's run this command again. We can see that there are three tables, one for internal table to maintain the status, and these two are the storage tables. Since this is an ODS project, these two are ODS storage tables. And at the same time, let's see, are there any other databases created for Qlik Compose? We can see here, previously there were only two, but now we can see four databases, two extra databases created to maintain internal views. So we can just run what are the views exist in these new databases. There are some live views, and here we can see two more views. Still, storage tables are empty on Gen2 storage database. Okay, now let's validate the storage one more time and then generate this full load task and CDC task on Qlik Compose project. Now we are ready with the project and task definitions, everything. So now we have to migrate the data using the second CLI command. So let's prepare the second CLI command and then connect to CLI. Okay, this is the second CLI command, and we have to make sure that project name must be equivalent to Qlik Compose project name. So let's copy this one and yeah, let's change the project name to correct one. And the in file, again the same deployment package we generated from C4DL 6.6. So we can use the same deployment package. Let's okay, now we can run this command. It will generate the migration script, so we can download it from the UI, or we can go to DDL scripts folder on the project level. We can get this script, and let's open this script and see. So this script basically have few commands for your storage tables. It is going to select the data from C4DL 66 storage database and insert it into Gen2 storage tables. Same way it is going to populate the data into Qlik CMPA status table also from the old CMPA status table. Now we can run this migration script from Databricks notebook, and it is going to take some time. It depends on your data. It's going to take a couple of minutes or a couple of hours. Okay, let's wait to finish this one, and we can verify the storage tables again. Okay, it's finished. Okay, now let's verify the data on Gen2 storage table. So we can see it's a ODS format and it still didn't update because we still haven't run any CDC tasks. Now let's run the CDC task. If there are any changes on CT tables, then we can expect some changes in the storage table. But in this case, I didn't send any changes. So we can simply see that both the tables will be skipped here. Okay, so same way we can run the same CDC task on C4DL66 also, because both storage databases are different here, so we can run it parallelly. And here also it is going to skip the data for both the tables. And now I'm sending few changes, and then I'm not running CDC jobs on the compose side. Let's verify the data from here. So we can still see the same data on C4DL66 storage database and Gen2 also. But before that, just let's check the CT data. You can see that there are some updated data in the CT table. I am going to run select queries on storage tables on C4DL and Gen2, and we don't see any updates. But there is some new feature in Gen2 that we are going to see now. So even without CDC task run from the compose, we can able to see updated data. So let's see. Yeah, you can compare the tables. Still, you can see the old data on both C4DL and Gen2. And now let's run the views on Gen2 database. So when you run the view from the Gen2, the live view specifically, so it is going to join the data using existing storage tables and CT tables from the landing area. Here we can see that live table is giving ODS view of storage data and the unprocessed changes from the CT table also. In the same way, if you see live changes table, you can only see the changes recently happened on the CT table. Now let us go back to the C4DL and Qlik Compose and run the CDC tasks. And this time it is going to process the data, and our storage tables is going to be updated with the latest data. And once these two tasks are finished, we can go to notebook like Databricks notebook and verify the data again. Both tasks are finished. So now we can run the same queries again on the notebook. Let's run the C4DL storage table first, and we can see here updated data. Same way we can run the storage select storage table on Gen2 database. Yeah, we can see here also updated data. And now if you run the live changes table, now previously we used to see null value for the partition names, but now it is updated with the correct partition names. remaining all the same data. We finished the migration. So as I said, like you can run parallelly both the C4DL and Gen 2 projects for a few days until your downstream apps consuming the data from Gen 2 views. And after migration, you have to check ODS and HDS views and CDC with updates, census, and deletes, how it is performing, and CDC with the reload event. In replicate, if you reload the table, compose CDC task can able to recognize the change and it can reload the storage table in the compose. That is a new feature in Gen 2. So yeah, you can verify that in your testing environment if you want. And as I showed you, like schema evaluation, first time you should run it and then skip all the changes at the first time. And you can also set workflow, scheduler, notification, and work with multiple replicate servers in the on the compose side. So I hope we covered almost everything for ODS to ODS data migration. Thank you so much for your time. So please contact support if you have any further question. Thank you.